So, day 6 of this trip. This morning I woke up and I was just looking at the map and I realized that I only have 2 things to see. Achill Fields and Downpatrick Head. And then I thought, oh, there's not a lot of stuff to do today, so I was just browsing to see what's in the area, and turns out that I was actually right next to Croagh Patrick. It's called a holy mountain. And I thought that it could be fun to actually summit it. So I asked the lady that was hosting me, Margaret, really lovely lady, how long it would take to actually summit it, and she said this probably would take an hour and a half, that it was actually quite easy to do. So I thought, yay, 3 hours, I can actually fit 3 hours into going up and down the mountain. That would be really fun. I don't think it took me 3 hours to summit it, and it wasn't as easy as she makes it sound. Maybe it's easy to do it in summer when it's dry, but it wasn't dry and it wasn't summer. When you're actually going up the mountain, it really doesn't look that difficult because you kind of see the point where you have to go. So when you're going up Croagh Patrick, you see kind of the point where you're supposed to reach, and when you get to that point, that's when the hardest part begins. Actually, when you get up to that point, it's not even the hardest part. And then you have to walk up this ascending path. There isn't really a path, it's just like a bunch of stones lying on top of each other, and because it's so slippery and because they're just loose stones, it's really hard to actually go up, and it's even way harder to go down. And the wind, thankfully, was actually blowing in your face when you're going up, which is kind of like okay. But when you're going down, it blows into your back, so you kind of like accelerate going down. So you really have to be careful going down, actually. It possibly took an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more. I had my trusty thermos of tea, which was a great idea. A man stopped on the way and said he would give me 1,000 euros for a cup of tea. I offered him one, he said no, and that was a great idea, actually, to bring that to the summit, because well, you need some hydration, and also it's windy. It's very windy up there. It was raining throughout the entire ascent, basically, and descent, so my pants were soaked. I only have 1 pair of pants, so I was driving to my next destination in my underpants. And then I looked at the time and it looked like I could actually make it to Downpatrick Head, but literally by the time I would be there, it's actually time for sunset, so I wasn't really sure how far it was to walk to it. So I tried it anyway. I drove over. The moment I got there, the sun started going down, but actually it's only about 2-3 minutes to go up to actually see this beautiful sight in Downpatrick Head, so that was totally worth it. That was totally worth the drive, and actually when it's a little bit darker, it's actually even more dramatic. So that was really beautiful, and I walked up to it in my wetsuit because I didn't have any pants. And then I made it here in the lodge that I'm staying in, and that only took 40 minutes, which was really nice. So now I'm nice and warm and I'm gonna go sleep, and tomorrow we're gonna summit another mountain. Yay!